Yo, what's going on, guys? Coach Vic here. So, answering another question from the gram, and that comes from Jake. And the question is, I'm a skinny freshman in college ball that struggles with timing and recognizing low 90s. Although I guess that's technically not a question, but I get what he's saying. Well, Jake, if you're a skinny freshman, you got to keep it simple, man. More than likely, you need to eat more and you need to lift heavy, right? This isn't rocket science. You just gotta do it, right? You gotta start. And before even the eating, and again, I'm not a nutritionist or anything, I'm not an expert, just from experience, honestly, personally, gaining weight has never been a problem for me. I'm always a type of guy that needs to lose weight, as I'm doing right now. But if you're a skinny freshman in college, you still have some maturity left, maturing left. You're gonna grow, you're gonna fill out. But of course, you need to stimulate the muscles in order for them to grow. So we need to have a higher, you need to lift heavy and probably in a lower rep range. The rep range that I've had most success with, and the players that I work with, I help them with their rep ranges in the gym, is 4 to 6 reps. You can go lower, of course, and you can go a little bit higher. It's all preference, but just a general place to start is in the 4 to 6 rep range, okay? And make sure you're getting a proper amount of protein in, okay, and a proper just overall calories. So if you're trying to gain protein, calories, number one, so that we can be in a surplus, so that we know that we're creating an environment in our body for things to grow, right, for us to build. And then second, you want to make sure that you're hitting a protein mark. Now, again, this is a whole other video, and I'm not an expert in this, but from all the experience that I've had and from things that I hear, because I listen and study and hear people talk about nutrition all the time, is that the common belief is that we need a lot more protein than we actually do. But I think as long as you are consuming like a rough baseline starting point, remember it's just a starting point, you can always adjust and along the way, is to start with 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight. So I don't know, Jake, let's say you're 180 pounds, okay? And you want to get up to 200, or 190, 200. Well, that would be a good starting point to go with 190 to 200 grams of protein. Okay, starting with that. I kind of do a similar method where I am eating roughly a gram of protein per pound of my goal body weight, which is actually lower because I'm trying to lose body fat, right? So I'm 219 pounds right now. I want to get down to like maybe 205, 200, 205. And that's just kind of my current goal. It could change along the way, but I'm going to consume anywhere from 190 to 205, and then some days it's even more. But as long as I'm averaging around 200 to 205 grams of protein per day, as well as working out, training, stimulating my muscles for the growth to repair with that protein, then I know I'm probably doing something right. And if I'm getting the results, then I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing until I get there. If things aren't working, the weight's not coming off, then I'm going to adjust. And the same thing for you. If the weight's not going up, then you're just going to adjust either more protein or more calories. More than likely, you just need more calories. Okay? So again, that's just to acknowledge your comment about being a skinny freshman. So we need to stimulate the muscles for growth, and then that's going to also amp your appetite. Then you can actually be able to eat more. Don't just try and stuff your face without actually trying to stimulate the muscles, breaking the muscles down. On a side note though, because we're in season, I'd go easy on this, okay? I wouldn't necessarily think about gaining muscle and pushing your body with the heavier weights during the season. Okay, so if you need specifically some guidance on this, I can help you. Drop it in the comments below, or shoot me a DM or whatever, and we can get into this maybe a little bit more detailed, and you can give me some specifics too, so I can help you better. Okay, then back to the other part. So struggling with timing and recognizing low 90s. I just made a timing video, answer a similar question on the timing of pitcher. So be sure to check that out on my YouTube or in my Instagram feed. Okay, then recognizing low 90s. Okay. So one of the things, again, one of the common ways that I help players is just that you want to, whatever area you want to improve, you want to challenge that area, okay? So if you're having a tough time recognizing low 90s, Well, maybe we need to try to challenge yourself with something 95 and above. Now, I don't mean necessarily in miles per hour, but just in reaction time. Okay, so maybe we need to crank the machine up a little bit, but get a little bit closer, right? So what you're doing is you're training your eye to pick up a faster moving object. Okay, similar, and again, this was answered in a previous video, but again, training your eye with hitting those smaller like golf balls. That was just a really easy go-to thing that I used to do during my pro career, and I would always notice that I was better at recognizing laying off pitches when I would be hitting those little mini golf balls. There's the wiffle ball version that are obviously, most of them are white, and they kind of slow down a little bit as they get thrown, so it's kind of almost like hitting like change-ups. Okay, there's also the other kind of foam ball, or the foam balls that are different colors. Now I like those. Those are challenging, and they cut through the air, pretty sharp, and they're pretty nasty. But you got the darker, like there's like blue, red, yellow, white, and I don't know, maybe another color in there. But the darker the color, the harder it is to track it, to see it. And so again, those are just ways that you can challenge the area that you want to improve. I want to improve my eyesight. Challenge your eyesight. I want to improve recognizing high velocity. Challenge yourself with more velocity. Oftentimes, I feel like maybe the tendency is, if you're struggling with the 90, seeing 90, that we want to find like an easier way to do it, versus no, you just have to improve that skill, that ability of yours to see it, to track it. When I got into pro ball the first time, man, I mean, I used to always hit velocity. It's how I got into pro ball, right? It's because I could handle the velocity. But something was different. When you get into pro ball, or just a high level, I mean, everybody was throwing 92 was a slow pitcher, okay? And their balls are doing this. And it's just a different kind of speed, a different kind of velocity. It was effortless, and the ball, and I was like, man, it was intimidating. Like, holy crap, like, can I hit these guys? And, and sure enough, the first couple games, it's like the ball's a blur. Nasty stuff. Everything is hard and fast. And it's like, dang. And so, I strike out a bunch, just missing, like, felt horrible at the plate. And then all of a sudden, what would start to happen is, like, I start to see it more often, and over and over and over again, until eventually, and I mean, I didn't like necessarily tear it up, but I mean, it became normal. To the point where we didn't like facing the guys throwing 92. We actually liked the guys throwing 95 and above, because they would typically throw straight stuff at us. And so we wanted hard and straight. Anybody with 88 to 92 was just pure filth in the minor leagues. But again, we just adapted over time. So our eyes become aware of it, or, trained to see that speed and that velocity. Then our bodies adjust in terms of our timing and learning how to get ready earlier and slower and smoother. And all before you know it, it's like, again, it's not easy by any means, but still, it becomes easier, okay, simpler. And so that's what you want to do. Crank that machine up. You could even get close, and you don't have to hit it. Just get close to the machine where it's cranked up pretty high, maybe to a level where you're having difficulty from full distance, and then get closer. And you don't need to hit it. Just bunt. Just track it, kind of like you're playing pepper, and you're just catching it. Catching the ball, the fast ball, moving. And what happens is, the more you do it, it starts to look slower and slower and slower. And then what you do is back up slowly until you get to the plate. Okay, and what's going to happen is, now all of a sudden you've got the same velocity, which was challenging before, but you've seen that thing at 30 feet, or maybe even 20, 25 feet. You've seen it at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, back to like 60 feet. Now all of a sudden, that ball is just so much easier to pick up. Okay, so again, challenge the area that you wish to improve. Okay, if you have any more follow-up questions, again, and this was a very specific question, obviously, but Jake, if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments or shoot me a DM again, and let me know if I can help you in any other way or make another video. And for anybody else watching this, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to answer more questions like this, post more frequently, just kind of some low budget filming here just to get some information out there and be able to help players hit more consistently and be the best possible player that you can be. So yeah, subscribe, like, all that jazz. See you in the next one.